Hello, this is Lucia Arden here in Città del Pepe, Italy. I want to say I'm the one that is the coin organizer of negotiation strategic plan to use commodities, land easements, and business deals to stop the war. I wrote that in my book, God's Power. In God's Power, America Save Our Legacy. In God's Power, Nations Save Your Legacy. They picked it up on my information. It's written down. I'll show you again. And because my work was taken, my computer systems were taken before Elon Musk and RFK got in and before President Trump got in. But they used my ideas throughout many years now. And in 2012, I did say to check all offices in America in 2012, and since then many times to check all offices in the government. Many things I've professed, but the serious thing, and I'll show you that I gave a plan on how to negotiate with other countries instead of war, with commodities and land easements. I am a specialist in global luxury commodities and global luxury properties. I've had internships with that, and I took a sabbatical to work on my books, but I want to show you. So let's update. My name's LisaLuciarden.com, Lisa Luciarden. I have three new books, actually, and they're Christian based, but they're political, because I've studied under the Dominicans and the Jesuits, and but I also studied under the regular people in Fuller Theological Seminary and also Angelicum in Rome. But I have independent study with many economists. I'm a supply chain economist also, so I've had many studies for many years. I've been working on this, but I want to show you now. My name is Lisa Luciarden, so let's show you the update. Thank you of my work.
European leaders agreed to do the heavy lifting to defend their continent as they convened in London to discuss ways to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. The summit follows Friday's tense meeting.
As I told you, if we do not have support from all European leaders, Putin is hooked up with North Korea, China, Iran, and other counterparts. It's very serious, and they're at every area. They're already in Canada, okay? They're already they're trying to get in the borders with India and also Iraq. They try to get into the borders, but they're with Iran, and they're in the borders of Taiwan. Anywhere that China is, or Putin is, Russia or North Korea, that's where they are. They're all working together. And then North Korea, as I showed you, and we'll talk about that, has a nuclear. Okay? This is very serious. And then they also go out in the South Seas. And I told you the Black Islands they try to get in Taiwan. Then coming around, they also work with Brazil. And then also China works with, and this all relates to the negotiation of protecting Hurricane. You have to realize, wake up, we have to wake up, which you have. But they don't tell the people all the extras because it's almost too much for them, but it all relates. And China is in Honduras, right below Mexico. And so China's there, Putin's there, and also Mexico, and then California. And then we have Canada at the borders. That's why President Trump wants the borders protected by Canada also. And then we have Africa. Putin is in Africa at the tip where Iran is making uranium to put on the tips of the missiles. Okay? Then, he's in Cuba somewhere. In Cuba, China is in Cuba making military tools right below Puerto Rico. That's why I was called to go to Puerto Rico last year to wake people up and get them going. Even if I spoke like this and send my information out on podcast. It's very serious. Now let's continue. And this is why we need to build together and protect Hurricane, and with other countries need to come together to protect our nation.
Meeting between U.S. and Ukrainian presidents Trump and Zelenskyy, which ended in a televised shouting match in the Oval Office. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer emphasized the urgency behind securing a peace deal.
And I agree with Zelenskyy. And that's why I said commodities. You don't hear any of that because I'm a specialist in global luxury commodities. I did that work and I understood it. And global luxury property and real estate. I understand about land easements, but this was a called information as a political analyst, politician, Lucia Arden. It's a very serious thing, and all European countries have to support because they need their border supported also. Do you hear me? Now, this is very serious, but this is my work that they took this coin idea, and I'll show you in my book. Again.
He reiterated, however, that any agreement must be robust and guaranteed to last and succeed.
We cannot accept.
And we can't accept a weak deal. We can't, because we need to realize that he needs security after he gives the monies, the commodities. And I agree, I believe we need to give Zelenskyy what he wants in a good, fair business as American. We didn't have one American, die per se in protecting us from Russia, because actually Russia was war against us. Really, that's war against us. And he can pay it back through a commodity, but we need to give him security. Because we don't know after he makes a plan, because we don't know what Putin's going to do. And anyways, Putin is allies with North Korea and China. And you saw what North Korea showed to do a threat with nuclear warfare.
A weak deal like Minsk, which Russia could breach with ease.
See, Russia could breach with these. We need to make sure we have a solid. And I asked for a peace treaty. My name's Lucia Arden. Did you hear any of this before? No. Did you hear an idea for separating the commodities or anything or giving? No, because it was my idea. They took my idea, and I'm not trying to get points. I'm trying to get notification of who I am and the work I've done for many years. I'm a geopolitical specialist. It shows in my work, Arise to God's Truth, our need to give to the world. In God's power, America save our legacy. In God's power, nation save your legacy. And if you don't believe God, I'm talking about justice. And these are intellectual books with footnotes and bibliographies of 7 pages of bibliography notes in the back. So very, or more, 10 to 15. These are like a first dissertation of a PhD. This is very serious. But why, and I'll repeat, why didn't they ask before? Because they didn't know. They took the idea, and I kept on asking. But people done crimes against me on my podcast, and they took my ideas. They took my computer. They put me on the podcast that I paid for under Bold and Brave. It's very, very serious. And we need to protect Zelenskyy, and we need to come together as a leadership, America. And Maloney is right that America has to come in. It's not a safe thing, but I understand there was problems and the protocol wasn't right. And so we all need to go back and reconcile. Zelenskyy does, and so does President Trump. But Zelenskyy does need security after we give the commodity. He needs to be part of security because we don't know what Putin's going to do. And China could come in, and North Korea, and Iran. You saw what Iran did. They blew some things up over with Netanyahu, and I worked on that also.
Instead, any deal must be backed by strength.
See, backed by strength. And that's what I said. That's why I don't believe in war. And that's why I talked about the dome. And because I know a little bit of physics, so I showed where all the drones need to be protected. And I talked about that. I talked about by strength, not by force, but by strength. Force is the action of energy from one place to the next. Okay. And that's war. We are strength. Is having the tools of a potentiality that they know so they won't come and attack you because we're bigger than them. And we are. Even though they have the largest army, Chinese by a number, they don't have strategies. But now they have North Korea and they're trying to threaten us with nuclear. This is serious.
Every nation must contribute to that in the best way that it can.
See, every nation must negotiate. And this is true. They have to protect their borders. Things have changed. And that's why I said to protect the borders. I got in big trouble. You don't know. They killed me and I came back to life. And our JD and his poor family, they had little children and everything. They went against him in Vermont when he was trying to have a ski trip. He doesn't know that's what I've been doing for many, many years. I've been under terrible before 2012. Serious killings, death, oppression, torture, biowarfare. This is very serious. And that's what they'll do. They'll come and get our children. They'll come and get our people. And they'll take our lands. We need to protect all our borders. Every country. In 10 to 30 years, if we don't, but we are. Everything's set up. Everyone's following in line now. But I said in 10 to 30 years, and they listened, that if we didn't protect our nation, they woke up. And my comrades, the business people. And that's when they started to listen. And they voted President Trump because I went to different big states, to Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, California. They know me. And then I had my podcast and speaking.
Bringing different capabilities.
And New York, because that's where my podcast originated with Podcast Business News.